yo, welcome to Where the Watko Things Are, New York edition. Yeah. So you might not be able to tell because I'm sitting by a tree, but I'm in New York City, that is. New York is like my second favorite place in the world, so I'm really, really happy when I'm here. I kind of walk around like this. Oddly enough, people have been staring at me. So guys, you probably remember that talk we had about following a certain path created by this guy, Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell was a professor at Sarah Lawrence College and pretty much the most esteemed mythologist, or at least the most well-known mythologist of all time. He created this thing called the monomyth, which is a theory, essentially, that says that all great epic stories follow the same structure. Because we're book people, we decided that our series of vlogs should have a good narrative structure, and we decided on the best one there is, the hero's journey. For future reference, the hero's journey will be up here, and there's probably going to be a link in the doobly-doo to the Wikipedia article and to books and to other stuff, so click on the doobly-doo. So I'm walking around Central Park, and I'm going to be talking about the hero's journey that I went on, because I don't know, part of our theory is that everyone has their own hero's journey of sorts, and it starts with the call to adventure. I actually experienced what I think is my call to adventure last summer when I was in England for the first time, and it kind of all boiled down to a specific evening when I was in Stratford-upon-Avon, which is the birthplace of William Shakespeare and home to the Royal Shakespeare Company. So here I was, this tall, gangly ginger in a foreign country who was really depressed because I just went to Cambridge University and they pretty much were like, "Oh, we don't take Americans, I'm sorry, so sorry, you've never read Margaret Atwood, have you? You don't know the complexity of Sycorax's character in The Tempest." And I was bummed out because Britain was where I wanted to be, and to hear British people say they didn't want me was like, oh, thanks guys. I was looking forward to this leg of the trip pretty much since the beginning, because not only is like Shakespeare my favorite writer of all time, but we had gotten essentially backstage passes to meet with some of the actors who are doing this production of Richard III, including the guy playing Richard III himself. I just realized where I'm walking. It's like just right by the Delacorte Theater where they do Shakespeare in the Park. But there's all these little Shakespeare quotes around the things, like here's something from The Tempest. That's kind of cool. So I remember getting there was really hard. We missed our train, and we were supposed to meet up with this guy, but he had practice, and so we just kind of waited over at his flat, which was kind of awesome because he had all these like Bob Dylan songwriting books and like how to play harmonica like Bob Dylan. And I was just thinking, this guy's cool. Finally, it's showtime, and within like 4 seconds of the play starting, I'm completely blown away because this guy, John Joe O'Neill, is the greatest actor of his generation, I will say. He is crazy. He performs Shakespeare without any pretension, without any airs of like sophisticated greatness. He's from Belfast, so he does it with his native Belfast accent. And I think he's really just a heroic and scary man to watch. He's playing Richard III, and you're legitimately believing this guy is a psychopathic hunchback. Same park, different tree. So the show's over, and I immediately go down to the bar, and there's already like these two actors who've been in the show. Pippa Nixon and Brian Ferguson, who played Lady Anne and, what was his name? Buckingham, the Duke of Buckingham, respectively. And they were so really nice to me. They're like, "Oh, you're John Joe's friend. How you doing? How you doing? Blah, blah, blah." And then in comes John Joe. And he's this goblin-grinned creature of warmth who's just the nicest guy you can possibly meet. So we stayed out pretty much all night. And it was not about them. It was about me and why I wanted to come here. And I told them about Cambridge. And they're like, "Oh, that sucks. But, and I told them, I had a horrible year in high school where I kind of dropped out, and you're a dropout, that's awesome. So it was a really wonderful night. And I remember walking back to John Joe's flat, um, where I was staying over, sort of like this. After that, I pretty much decided I wanted to work with Shakespeare, and I wanted to work with the text, and I wanted to be like those people because they were so nice. And it kind of spurred on this great interest in Shakespeare and great interest in performing and getting over myself and trying to make better myself. So I think that really was my call to adventure, my call to what I'm striving towards right now. Guys, Eliza, Summer, Caleb, Mario, I hope you guys are all doing really well. I'm gonna see one of you tomorrow, which is gonna be awesome. Um, but yeah, hit me up, call me if you're ever in the area, which is New York now. Alright, see you guys. Adios. Look, look. Ooh, 30 Rock, towering above my head.